wanna see you make my...
Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be a sort of chit chat about the very popular and awesome CW show called Riverdale. I'm just going to be talking about some things that I love about the show, some things that I think should be changed or improved on to make the show better. But as we know, the CW does have a long, very long history of just ruining shows, basically. They get these amazing concepts like 90210, like Supernatural, the first 5 or 6 seasons. Now it's on season 481. It was like Vampire Diaries. I love that show up till season 4 or 5. They get amazing shows and then they destroy them. So Riverdale will be good for mark my words. For the first 3 seasons will be amazing. By 4 they'll start to lose people by the end, and by 5 you won't, it'll be so different. And then if there is a 6, it's gonna be shit. So as I said before, I love the show because it's different from what's on TV right now. The show is, does have a darker tone from the Archie comics that it's based on. The Archie comics are they have such a Disney feel to them, and it's so good to just read the comics and just throw your worries about the world away. But it's good to also be watching a show that has a modern take and feel on it, like the fashion that the characters are wearing. Obviously the clothing is a lot more very, very vibrant and colorful. Disclaimer, this is my opinions and my knowledge of the show, so please don't be offended. Let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the character and setting development. So let's go into the setting first. The environment is Riverdale. So it's a small town, a small community that's very dark and gloomy and literally looks like Vancouver. The show's probably filmed there, or Montreal. It's in Canada somewhere. The show has a very dark, eerie, very grim feel to it, and then when the characters come into the scene, it's very much more colorful because of the clothes that they're wearing, the makeup that they have, which is a lot, and just some of the things that they want us to notice. They're very, very vibrant. It reminds me of 300, Zack Snyder works, or Superman or Batman, the Superman Batman film that he made. The things that the director wants you to focus on are so much more vibrant and colorful, and the background feels so gloomy and dark. You have your dark blues. It almost feels like the pages of a comic book, where everything's all gray, but the background is more white and simple shadings, whereas the characters are more 3D, and they have just darker hues of gray and black and stuff. So I like that. It's reminiscent of the comic book feel, so it's pretty cool. But the main places that are on the show are Pops, the diner, the movie theater, the school, Betty, and Betty's house, Archie's house, Veronica's hotel house room thing, Jughead's trailer. Those places are Cheryl's house, home, mansion. Those are the main places that you see in Riverdale. And they are, I don't know, they're just so interesting, and the way just the sets and everything is made and portrayed is so beautiful. I would love to see more of it, and not just a quick walk by, the camera just going through as the characters walking by. I wouldn't mind it if the characters spent more time in specific places and let the environment, the rooms that they're in, sort of speak for themselves. Let's start with Jughead Jones. So Jughead is everyone's favorite. I don't know if it's because it's actually Jughead or if it's because it's Cole Sprouse that's playing the character, but for whatever reason, when I was reading the comics as a kid and when I watched the cartoon as a kid, my favorite character was probably Betty / Jughead. I like Jughead because he wasn't the cool kid. And he did his own thing, but he was so comfortable doing it. And I know this Jughead from Riverdale is sort of the same way, but I feel his default is to just be I like being dark and twisted and by myself. But it's you don't need to talk, just do it. That's who you are, that's what you do. He's always I'm weird, I'm the outcast. And it's no, you don't need to say that. We got the feel. You're wearing a knitted hat that looks like a crown. We know you're weird. I feel like Jughead relies too much on, it's not even him, it's probably just the content of the show so far. A lot of his character comes back to the situations he's gone through, and that's all we know about Jughead. We know that he has his dad, FP. We know that his dad's a serpent, and that Jughead most likely will be a serpent. And that he's like dating Betty and stuff like that, and that his mom is like the worst mom in the world because she's like took her daughter Jellybean and like left for whatever reason. Jughead probably decided to stay with his dad, but like honestly, the boy needs you, mom. But we don't know a lot about Jughead. We don't know enough, and I guess the show's just in season 2, so we're gonna find out more about him. But it'd be nice to know things about him that aren't related to the problems of the town, like just to know who Jughead is. That way, when things come, it'll be easier for us to be like, oh, that's something Jughead would do, or no, that's something Jughead wouldn't do. There's certain situations that happened in season 2. So spoiler, if you haven't watched season 2, cut this video and go watch it and then come back. There's only been a few episodes out, so you're fine. But the situation where he asked the serpents to find out who shot Archie's dad, when they bring this guy half beaten up, like half dead, to his trailer thing, he's sort of like shocked at first, and all of us as the audience are shocked, but then you see his face sort of change after when they sort of reassure him and calm him down and tell him that like it's fine, like this guy doesn't know anything, whatever. Like you start to see that Jughead might not be as I don't want to use the word innocent, but he might not be as what's the word? He's not as naive as we may see him. As, you know, someone like Betty from the comics is. He's not like that way. I feel like when push comes to shove, he'll push you off a cliff and then watch you fall down. That's a little bit about Jughead. I feel like he just needs a little bit more character development. The next person that I feel like needs character development to the core is Veronica Lodge. I love Veronica. She's strong, she's independent, and it's not situational. Like, it's not like, oh, my parents are rich and mean, so I'm just gonna be independent. My parents, like, it's literally a part of her personality. Compared to Betty, where I feel like she has to be that way because her mom pushes her one way. If her mom was more supportive, and if, you know, things weren't hard for her at this point in her life, she wouldn't be as independent, sort of, as she is. But with Veronica, she's, like, innately independent. I think she probably gets it from her mom, but she's just very, very, you know, has something to do, she gets it done. She doesn't need to sit down at Pops and be like, guys, this is the plan, and this is what we're gonna do. She just kind of, like, is like, okay, and, like, we'll just go and do it. I like Veronica because she's very independent. She's very, like, don't F with me. I need to get this done yesterday. I feel like they need to develop the character more, because the only thing that we know about Veronica is that the girl can match her clothes, like, and her hair and her eyebrows are done. But I'd like to see more of the character of Veronica. I just feel like she has a lot to offer, and right now all we know is that she has a crush on Archie. She's trying to get along with her parents at this point. That's it. And she used to be a bitch. Like, that's it. There's nothing else about Veronica that we know. They could definitely bring more about Veronica through flashbacks, or maybe even have one of her friends or someone from her past who knew her when she was not the best person come to the show and be like, Veronica, like, why are you so nice now? You were up when you were my friend. Like, someone to really introduce the old Veronica, that way we could appreciate more the new Veronica. Okay, the next one that I'm going to talk about is is probably the reason why I made this video, is Josie and the Pussycats. Like, they're not one person. There are 3 girls, Melody, Valerie, and Josie. And these 3 girls make up the band Josie and the Pussycat. Like, I love the fact that they are black girls. I wouldn't care if they were Asian girls. But I just like the fact that they're ethnic, because it relates more to the fact that they make music and they have a message to get across, and they want to push these bounds. I love that fact about them, and it just relates so much to who they are and how they portray themselves on the show. They're very strong, independent women, which is usually how we stereotype black women, which is not a bad stereotype at all. And stop bringing Josie in every, like, 50 seconds of an episode so you can say that she's a part of the main cast. Like, actually bring her in the show. Let her do something that has nothing to do with music or nothing to do with Cheryl or, you know, cheerleading or Archie. And Valerie is the singer-songwriter. She's more introverted than and timid compared to her other bandmates, Melody and Josie. Valerie dated Archie for like an episode, and I think that was their understanding of like character development. Now we can move on. No, you can tell that she has a lot to offer. Like, she's not just Josie's like go-to or best friend or shadow, or the songwriter. Like, you can tell there's more to her, and it'd be great. She would be an amazing character, because I feel like what they're going to do in the show is they're going to drag the Bughead relationship to the point where like we're sick of it, or to the point where we're so obsessed with it, and then they're gonna break up, and then Betty's gonna, you know, Archie and Betty are gonna happen, and then I don't know what's gonna happen with Veronica because she doesn't have enough character development, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Show who each girl is, because I don't know anything about Melody other than that she's a drummer. Like, that's it. There's nothing about her. We don't know anything else. She's literally had like 2 lines. Guys, give the girl something. She doesn't even have to date. It would be so nice if they made one of the Pussycats date like Reggie or something, but please give more character development to Josie and the Pussycats, please. The main character, Archie. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, what? But it's true, guys. Archie doesn't have as much character development as someone like, I feel like the person who has the best and most amount of character development on the show is Betty Cooper. I say this because you know all sides of Betty. At this point, we even know that Betty has a dark side that's come out about 3 times in the show. She's probably I feel like the most different from the comics version. This Betty is a little bit more like normal. She's not such a pushover. Like, she's not going to do Archie's homework so that he'll fall in love with her, which is what she does in the comics at one point. But Archie, on the other hand, is like your stereotypical hero protagonist. Like, he literally is like cardboard. He's there, you know he's there, but you don't have any use for him other than holding up the other characters. Like, it's only in comparison to the other characters that you notice who Archie is. If you remove all the other characters, if you took Archie out of Riverdale and you placed him in the real world, he could not exist, because there's nothing really about him. Like, what? He has a dad. His parents are divorced. Okay, that's like half of America. Like, what else? There needs to be something else about Archie. Like, we know that he likes music. That's good. Like, put him in situations where he doesn't have to like cry or be emotional or overly emotional, but like just put him in situations where we get to like get a feel of who this person is. Because at this point, like, obviously the guy who plays Archie is an amazing actor. Let's see that. Like give him situations. Like, let's get to know this guy, please. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Archie and Veronica's relationship. So Archie and Veronica's relationship is awkward. If you guys saw season 2, episode 1, that shower scene, no. I read a Cosmo article on the scene, on that scene, and it wasn't until I read the article that I realized how awkward that scene was. I remember watching the scene and being like, this doesn't feel right. Like, it just feels off. And I didn't know why until I actually read the article, and then it was like, basically, they don't have enough of a foundation in their relationship to take that, like, step, sort of. I don't know. And even so, like, even if you just dismiss what I just said, the thing is, before they jumped in this, like, the shower, it was just like, what, like, Veronica, why? Like, did you equate that with that? Like, you know, it would have been, like, it was mentioned in the article, it would have been really, really nice if Archie had a moment where he sort of, like, breaks down emotionally and starts crying, or, like, has one tear fall down, and Veronica sort of, like, wipes it. One thing leads to another, they're in the shower, and then it moves to the bedroom or something, or stays in the shower, whatever. But, like, there was no opening for that, so it was just, like, it was, like, awkward. Like, it was just, like, cut, shower. So, I love the Jughead and Betty relationship as well. I feel like I like it a lot more because it's the only one that's, like, done right. They were friends and then they started dating, or at least they have some sort of a foundation. But Veronica and Archie, it's sort of like, it's, like, awkward. It's like, new girl, you're hot, we're together. So it'd be nice if there was more of, like, a transition, like, let them be there for each other, minus like the feelings. You know, let them see each other at their worst, and then build on that. And then, guys, that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys again for your love and your support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I should continue on with Riverdale, or if you guys don't want that, if there's another show or movie that you guys would like me to talk about. Let me know. Bye, guys.
Let me tell me, see you, you make my heart say.